Hi everyone, we're the Tarot Circle and today is the 9th of April in the US and Canada and it's the 10th of April 2024 for me in Hong Kong and welcome. We've just had a full solar eclipse and we're going to be talking about that in a second. But first of all, if you really like our content, please like, share, subscribe and comment. We had such an amazing response from our last video. Thank you all so much. We all really appreciate your likes, your shares, your subscribes, your comments. We love reading through them. It's great. And of course, if you'd like us to pull cards for you individually, then please put please visit the link below and you can send us an email by that. And yeah, it's really great to see our little channel growing. So who knows what's around the corner. So hopefully we're helping you and entertaining you along the way. So before we talk about our plan today, let me introduce our Tarot Circle members. We've got in the bottom row, looking like angels today, in their white. We've got the lovely Barb. Hey Barb, how you doing? How's the eclipse treating you?
Am I on the bottom right now? Because it looks like on my camera I'm on the top right-hand corner.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, everything's good. I mean, that eclipse was something else. I saw Meg Moonbeam's video that you all shared. I think it was Lynn that you shared it. And that was awesome. That video with the lights going out and coming back on.
Yeah, cool, right?
Here in Florida, we didn't see much of a difference. At the end of the day, they did, spray a lot, but that's the usual. And my family did film some cool videos too. So I thought it was great.
How have you been feeling the energy?
I've been kind of tired recently. Actually.
Yeah.
Tired and wired.
Yeah. Kaila, looking like an angel. How are you?
I'm great.
What's the eclipse energy for you like at the moment?
Yes, it was just wonderful just being outside and grounding. Although we didn't get to see the entire thing with so many clouds, it was just really nice being outside and just enjoying the whole experience. I felt it was like connecting with everybody across the world who was doing the same thing and lifting the vibration even more. That's what I loved.
Nice. Yeah. Lynn, how was you? Did you get to see it a bit?
Nope. We could tell that it got a little dark, but I worked on my eclipse tan, sat out with my bare feet and just got some sun before the chemtrails got too thick. So
yeah.
Well, it was 2:22 a.m. here and our alarm went off at midnight. So it was like, oh, I was half thinking, oh my goodness, is that an alarm for the eclipse? But it wasn't, it was just a false alarm. So that was fun.
Yep. My brother in Texas got great view of it because he was right in the line. So
cool. Yeah, I've seen one. I'm not sure whether it was a full or a partial, I don't know, but it was a number of years ago now, probably about 10 years ago. But it's very cool actually to see, isn't it? It's really, I love all that natural weird stuff.
Did it make you feel anything special, Ally? Did it make you feel anything different?
Everything's just been weird for me for the last 2 weeks, to be honest with you. I'm not sure it's Mercury retrograde. I've got glass in my finger. That's a whole different different thing. Well, as you guys know, I spilt tea on my foot and had a burn on my foot the last time we did it. I just feel like there's all weird kind of things happening, kind of, yeah. But yeah, it's okay.
Wow.
Nothing too serious. So today we've got a special guest coming in, but we're going to pull on these earthquakes that are happening first of all, before she comes in, and then we're going to talk about airlines and what's going on with air travel afterwards. But before we do all that, most importantly, we're going to clear the energy because we have to. So I'm going to hand it over to Kaila and Lynn, who are going to make it all feel all lovely for us. Over to you, lovelies.
Hello, everyone. So with the super intense energy of the solar eclipse, for today's energy clearing, we want to give thanks to the universe for activating our light bodies and divine selves, and for always having our back. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you. As we sit in gratitude, we want to collectively lift our vibrations to an even higher level of awareness and connection to Source, where we can now become our highest potential of self. We ask our angels and spirit guides, ancestors, and all beings working for our highest good only to be with us here today. Everything else must leave now. Over to you, Lynn.
Back to you, ladies.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Kaila. So before we start talking about earthquakes, because there's a lot to talk about that, we did touch upon that it's just been a new moon solar eclipse, and some people might be watching thinking, oh, what's all this thing about, you know, eclipses? You know, it's just the moon going in front of the sun, but actually it's a whole lot more than that. So it's a real sign of new beginnings. It's basically like a new moon, but it's times a 10, times 100. It's like doors closing and new ones opening. So there's a lot of big astrological events happening this month. And it's all about new beginnings in Aries, all the Aries ruled areas of your life. And if you've got your own personal birth chart, you can see what Aries falls in your birth chart. And it also indicates independence, bravery, masculinity, the warrior in us, having boundaries and not taking any crap from anyone. Most of us are not sovereign, and you know, we don't know how to make our own clothes, we don't know how to grow our own food, and we've given away our own power and our independence. And this month is all about getting all that back, or starting to get all that back. And yeah, so this will start happening over the next year, and this is also happening with the background of Pluto entering Aquarius, which it did earlier in the year. And when this last happened in the 1700s, there was the American independence, there's the French Revolution, and all these happened during Pluto in Aquarius. So we are also entering the age of Aquarius, which is the golden age. And with Chiron in Aries, we're also healing a number of different areas in our life. So the thoughts are that the next year will bring big changes for us all. Yeah, dark forces in the world are losing power. We're giving more power to the freedom movement, and more people are going to wake up. We're going to value self-sufficiency. We're going to have more survival skills, more know how to defend ourselves and have personal protection. And we're going to value our freedom regardless of the consequences, and we're going to have new leadership. So that's a little bit of a background to how the solar eclipse is likely to affect us. And we've got other kind of astrological happenings later on this month, which we'll talk about in future shows. But first of all, we're going to talk about some earthquakes. So we've had a bunch of different earthquakes happening all over the world. We started off with the Taiwan earthquake. Now I'm pretty close to Taiwan, and it's about, I think it was 7.56 on the Richter scale. So it's quite a big one apparently, but I didn't feel anything here. And then there was one shortly after in China. There was supposed to be a tsunami in Japan. There was one in Guam. There was a couple in California. There was one in the New York area. So there's been a bunch of different earthquakes happening. And it seems like what's going on? What's happening? Is it Earth just being a little bit unhappy with everything? Or are they created? As we know, you know, it is entirely possible to create earthquakes as it is to engineer the weather. So our question is, are they natural or man-made? These recent episodes, these recent earthquakes that we've had. Who feels like pulling on this first question today, ladies?
I'll pull. I'll pull.
Your pull and sing.
I'll pull. All right, so we want to know if want to look around and see if it's man-made, these earthquakes. Do you want to do all those earthquakes that have happened recently, or do you want to pick one in general, or just kind of have a general look?
Let's have a general look-see, so that, yeah, we can kind of have an understanding of what's really happening at the moment.
All right, we got.
Do any of you guys know anyone personally who was in any of these earthquake areas, actually?
And my
Yeah, my
uncle,
niece. Yeah.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead, Kyla. Go ahead.
No, just my uncle's in New York, so he did message and say that they just had an earthquake right as it was happening, actually. Yeah, it
Was
wasn't
it bad or just
too
a little
bad.
bit bad?
It was a bit bumpy and surprising. So
Mm.
there was a train nearby. He said that stopped for a while. It seemed that everything was okay because it started operating shortly after, but everybody came outside just as a precaution, but it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my niece Chloe and them, they did not feel it at all. It was interesting. Her uncle in Queens felt it, but Brooklyn and Manhattan didn't. So I don't know how it went under Brooklyn and Manhattan to get to Queens.
Right. It is a bit strange, for sure.
I'm not sure what the upshot of the Taiwan one, because I think that was supposed to be quite big, but it didn't seem to cause too much damage. I don't know. I don't honestly know how many earthquakes Taiwan gets. I mean, it's like the whole of this area. It's on that Pacific, apparently the Pacific Ridge thing, isn't it? We're on the kind of corner of it. All right. Okay. So what questions do you ask in your head, Barb, when you're putting these?
If these earthquakes are kind of real, natural, or man-made. Look around the question if they're natural or if they're man-made. And I get the Four of Pentacles. Now that's a closed number. It's almost like it doesn't want to say. But then at a certain point, we get that Seven of Swords, that man taking the swords away, the swords away. My friend told me that I've been saying swords wrong. Instead of swords, it's swords. How do you all say swords?
Swords.
Don't ask
okay.
me. I'm from the Caribbean, so I'm going to sound really different.
You say swords.
All sorts of things.
We got 7 swords here with the man taking the swords away. And then we got the five of Pentacles in the past up there, the 2 people walking away. It's almost like it's hurting a lot of people, but the Emperor there in the middle, it's almost like you know, it's a powerful entity coming in and making things like if they're doing it as a strategy, 7 of swords. So basically, so basically, it looks like with that emperor being the only major arcana, it almost makes me think that there's the powerful good guys that are coming in and using them as, I mean, it may sound horrendous to say it, but using earthquakes to do something for the good of people, although it comes out as a mess, because some people do get hurt, which, and there's a lot of confusion and a lot of worry with the 7 of Cups in the middle at the middle. The 9 of Swords, the worry, bringing that on. So it almost looks like, and then with the lovers, the 2 clarifiers at the top, the lovers and the hermit, it's almost like there's some type of backdoor agreement or backdoor collaboration. It's almost like they're doing it on purpose with that 9 of Cups at the bottom of the deck, the man sitting there with all the 9 cups. So it's I know it sounds crazy, but it almost seems like they're doing it to make it to do something better. It's almost like you know, the means justify the ends. I mean, the ends justify the means. Where you're gonna do something that's,
because there's been talk for a long time that earthquakes have been a cover for them doing something in the dumbs and clearing out dumbs and rescuing people from the deep underground military bases and things like that. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if, you know, there's a strategy behind it and it's all for the good and all that sort of thing. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Do we want to pull on have a little bit of more of a dig into that, maybe pull a few extra cards on is it about clearing out the dumbs, as they've been talking about this for such a long time? Are they still doing it?
Would you like me to just pull a couple from the top of the deck and then maybe Kaila can
exactly.
pull another one? Okay.
If you can clear out a couple from the deck,
I got the 6 of Cups. Can you see that? 6 of Cups. She's little children, little people. That almost reminds me of that's something that may have to do with children. I mean, that's also a giving, loving card, but you know, a lot of us know what's down in the dumbs. You know, a lot of stuff is down there, and you know, children will be down there as well, and people, a lot of people, children, a lot of people, maybe a lot of children.
Those are 2 really good cards.
So I think that's a big yes then, isn't it? They've perhaps this is the final push to, you know, clear everything out. All right. Okay. All right. So, good.
So that's positive. That's positive. Even though it seems scary, it seems scary. It seems scary and confusing, but you know, in the end, that's the energy that's there.
Which is good.
Sovereign energy. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Barb. All right.
You're very welcome.
So next up, we're going to bring in our guest, Julie. Hang on one second. Let me let her in, and then I'll introduce you. She's on the back of a camel, clearly. Are you on the back of a camel, Julie?
Yes, I am. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hi, Julie.
How are you? Hi.
Good.
So
how are you all?
I'm good. So
thank you for coming.
2 angels in white. we have the 2 angels in white. We got Bob and Kaila and Lynn. I'm not sure if Lynn's at the top. She's at the top of my screen here. But here are my fellow Tarot Circle members. And let me introduce you, my love. So I know Julie because we used to do CrossFit together, and she used to squat a crazy amount, and I was like, I can't squat that amount. But here is a little bit about her. So she's a lawyer. and she was noticing how many lawyers were addicted to coffee to get through the grueling long hours. And while Julie loves a good cup of coffee, she found that she was optimal and performs at her best when she limited her caffeine intake. And she knows firsthand how the demands of work and life can be a hotbed of stress, burnout, and ill health. And for this reason, she wanted to bring a coffee alternative to the world, which helps maintain the state of well-being, productivity, and focus. And that's why she created a matcha tea business as a side hustle to help other people get through their day optimally. And you can find her at www.blissfulllifeco.com and her Instagram at blissfulllifeco, and I'll put all the details below so you can get in touch with her. But what we're going to do for Julie today is we're going to do a little zodiac spread for you, aren't we, my love? Are you excited?
I am so excited. Like, I can't wait. I've never done this before. So I've been watching your channel and I love what you do. So thank you for letting me be here today.
Oh, you are welcome. You are welcome. So you can choose Kaila or Barb to pull for you today. So what we'll do, and I will, as they're pulling it, we'll explain how the zodiac spread works. But who would you like to pull for you? Would you like Kaila or Barb, one of our two angels today? Who would you like?
It's a hard one. Let's go with Barb.
All right.
Oh, it's Barb's
mini,
day.
money, mo. Any, mini, money, mo. Catch him by his toe. If he howls, let him go. Any, mini, money, mo. So, Julie, with that pretty accent that you have, where are you actually from?
I'm Australian, and I've lived all over the world.
Wow.
I've lived all over the world, and I've had to dilute my accent, so it's not as strong as it was.
You're still an Aussie.
Wow. All right. That's excellent. I would love to go there one day to see Australia.
It's a beautiful place.
Really love to go. My sister's an ex-flight attendant, and she says she's been all around the world, but one of the most beautiful places and that she's ever seen and she likes the best is Australia, she said. I thought she's going to say someplace exotic like I don't know, like Taiwan, India, somewhere. She's no, Australia. And she says they have the best food too. They have the best food, she says. So
that's awesome.
There you
Love
go.
hearing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're going to do a zodiac for you. Have you ever had your cards pulled at all?
I have.
Okay, and have you ever had a
Sorry, I've never done a zodiac. So what we're doing today, I've never done that. So I don't know what to expect. I don't know what you cover. I'm intrigued.
Okay, so basically we pull cards that represent each house, like each the house of Cancer, house of Leo, the house of Sagittarius, and each house represents certain things in life. So we're gonna do like a zodiac that for the next 3 months, for the next year. What would you say, Ally? Did you say something, Lynn?
What
You're
would
muted.
you like? Would you like a year, or what do you want, Jules?
A year would be great. It would be good to know what the next 12 months will bring.
All right.
All right.
She wants a big overview.
Okay, we'll do that.
So
okay. So Julie, 1, 2, or 3? I have three stacks of cards. I just divided in 3. So like stack number 1, stack number 2, or stack number 3. Which one should I put on top?
Number 2, please.
We'll put number 2 on top. Okay. All right. I'll get going. Make everything kind of fit here because it's kind of small.
Yeah, it's quite a big spread. Barb will pull 13 cards. She'll pull 1 card for each house of the zodiac, starting at Aries and then going around to Pisces. And then in the middle, the 13th card is the general energy for the whole year. What kind of the universe wants to tell you, how you're dealing with things, or just it's a nice kind of overview. But we'll talk you through kind of what each kind of house means, and of course each house is kind of aspected by other houses, if you see what I mean as well. So Interestingly, because we were just talking just before you came on, we just had a full moon lunar eclipse on Tuesday your time. So how are you feeling the energies at the moment? Because we had an eclipse. We had an eclipse 2 weeks before. How are you feeling the energies for you at the moment?
I think I've been tired in the last 24 hours, if I must admit. But from an energy perspective, I think like I don't feel drained or anything like that, if that makes any sense. Just physically tired.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot happening on the astrological kind of plane. We've got an important conjunction coming up on the 20th, and then we've got a full moon in Scorpio. Lynn, what do you know about the full moon in Scorpio coming up on the 23rd?
Nothing. I haven't had a chance to even look at it.
I was just started to watch Pam Gregory's video on that this morning, but I didn't. But I do know it's supposed to be just ramping up the whole energies of everything that they've been.
Yeah. Well, think about it. It is Scorpio, so.
We've got. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Cool.
Can you see it?
All right. Can everybody see that? All right.
Yeah. And since, for space-wise, I kind of squished them all together, but there are 13 cards.
Okay.
Yeah, 13.
All right.
Interesting.
And I have my little candle there in the middle, Julie, because I like to light a candle. We like to light candles. Put our favorite little stones in there for protection, calmness, and all types of things. So just want to let you know that. And then I took the picture and I uploaded it to our group so she can share it on the screen, because we're not using the technology yet where we can share all the screens, because right now we don't really need to, a small channel so far, but so we're doing like the old-fashioned way. So basically each card represents a house and a zodiac sign, and it rules certain things. So one of us are going to explain now how it works and what's going on with and if you see anything that looks kind of crazy, don't worry about it, because it doesn't necessarily mean exactly what the cards. The cards mean certain things with certain questions and certain meanings. So we're going to let one of the girls explain. All right. So who wants to explain the Julie's zodiac? I'm going to start out with the first house, which is
Aries.
First house, which is the Nine of Swords. You see that person in a bed? That's that's where we start. We start to the left. It's supposed to be right directly across from that heart there, but for space and everything, I kind of mess up a little bit. But it's a Nine of Swords. That has the first house, which is in Aries, which represents you at the moment and within the next year. The Aries represents the ego, the appearance, how you are, how you're dealing with things, how you're reacting to things. That's your state, what it is. Now, the Nine of Swords is a person, a card that is kind of like a worry for nothing card. Worry about nothing is kind of like when you get to bed, you worry about stuff that doesn't really come to pass, or stuff that could happen, but you're worried if it does happen. If it doesn't happen, it's kind of like a worry for nothing card. Now, we read that card and it goes right across to the other side where it's set, where you see the Three of Swords. Now, the Three of Swords, so basically the Three of Swords, you all want to go forward with that? Who wants to go forward with it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, I thought you were going quite good.
Yeah.
With the Three of Swords, the Three of Swords is kind of like pain, suffering, kind of sadness, despair, that type of thing. Kind of swords represent thoughts and words. So you have swords in your first house, which is the nine, the person in the bed, which is the Nine of Swords, and it's aspected, so it's basically connected or read together with or backed up by the Three of Swords. So it's kind of like you might be kind of like worrying for nothing about things that you think that could hurt you, or things that could hurt someone, or what someone said, or the thoughts of somebody else. So that's basically what's going on, and we're doing it for the whole year. So basically, this might go on for the next year with you, but these aren't major arcana, so it can actually change. Major arcana is big events that kind of almost non-changeable, something that you have to come to terms with. But these non-major arcana, the ones that do not have the name under the picture, are things that everyday things that people are going through. So this could change at any minute. So that's where we are. That's where you are now. Seems like you're kind of like worrying for nothing for things. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think also it's important to say as well, the Three of Swords is in the 7th house of Libra, which indicates partnerships, significant others, and things like that. It can also be like contracts and business relationships, but also the Three of Swords is like, stop doing it to yourself, stop wounding yourself. So it can be thoughts, and words. So you might be kind of going over things in your head over and over again in regard to either a partnership or significant other kind of relationship. And the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Swords there says that you're worrying about nothing. Stop wounding yourself in regard to this significant other kind of situation. This could be like a general thing, or it could be something that might be happening in the future. So I think if I was to give advice here, I would say just be kind to yourself, and don't worry needlessly about things, because the other cards, they all look pretty good to me.
Yeah, I'm sort of thinking the theme song of Frozen, Let It Go.
Yeah,
that's totally what I'm getting from these cards.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let it go, let it go.
If
All right.
I might just,
go on, Kaila.
What I'm getting from this, and I don't think it's something that has to necessarily be very, very personal, because I'm seeing this coming for everyone in this next year. There's going to be a lot of change and transformation happening, a lot of endings to what we used to know, and new beginnings happening. This could signify some sort of transformation of how you feel about self, like what usually defines you, what you thought you were, or maybe some personal projects and goals that you have been working on and you probably are looking to expand in the next year. But what I'm seeing here is it's all for the best. So it's whatever comes across, whether it be information, possibly partnerships ending, or new contracts coming in that, or not coming in, whatever it is, that might seem heartbreaking. There's a transformation happening here and an evolving of yourself. And so it's not with the Nine of Swords there, is saying don't take it one step at a time and don't worry too much, because it's unnecessary worry, as they've all been saying. It's a transformation process that we're going through in the next year, and so one step at a time. I think there's going to be a lot of with that. Well, we're going to get into this a little bit later on, but with that middle card, the Eight of Wands, it's sort of saying you're going to have a lot of new inspiration coming in, and this is probably going to change your sense of self. So expect changes, expect things to probably not flow in the way that you had planned, but it's all going to work out. That's what I'm seeing.
I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think this is borne out with the second card, the Death card in the 2nd house of Taurus. Now, whenever people look at the Death card, it's like, oh my God, someone will die. But actually, no, it's a long, slow change. Because if you think what death is, we transition from one life to the next. And the 2nd house of Taurus is about your values, your money, your wealth, your resources, kind of earthly things, and maybe you're changing the way that you think towards these things as well. that's aspected with the Knight of Wands there, up in the house of Scorpio, and he always goes quite quickly, right? So you have a long slow change aspected with a quick change up there. How would you guys read the aspecting of a slow change aspected with a quickness of the Knight of Wands?
I would say that it's going to be a slow change, but it might not even be a slow change with that Knight of Wands, since he jumps right in and goes pretty fast, passionately. It might be a drastic change with that Death card, a drastic change with her money, finances, wealth, that type of thing. You might have a drastic change. Maybe you invested in some type of Bitcoins or some type of currency or something like that. Maybe you made some investments, some in real estate, but it looks like it might be a drastic change. And then with that Knight of Wands, it might be really full force. It's going to be coming to full force. So it could be read both ways.
Okay.
And by the way, I don't know how much time we have for Julie, but we probably have to move it more quickly since she has to go, right?
Yeah, you've got until 8, right? Is this right, Jules, or you're able to stay a little bit longer?
I can probably stay another 15 minutes after that, 8:15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
we'll go quickly anyway.
All right. Okay. All right. So let's move to the next house, which is the 3rd house of Gemini, and we've got the Queen of Pentacles there. I like the Queen of Pentacles. She's a very nice. This is all about how. This is an important card. This is about what's on your mind, what's important for you, what you're thinking about, you're speaking about, what your plans are, what you're manifesting at the moment. So this looks to me like you're trying to manifest money. Is this right? and to be quite
right,
sovereign.
I was going to say, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Manifest money.
Oh, yeah. Manifest that money.
With trying to manifest a leadership role or some sort of contract or partnership. Yeah, I can see that.
Spot on.
With the 3 of
Right.
Pentacles and the Hierophant, yeah. And there will be a call to action, so it looks like some opportunity coming. So it looks good.
Interesting. Because the Hierophant that's in the 9th house of Sag, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Which means, so Sag is all about international travel, your belief systems, your philosophy, whether it's changing or not. So, and how would you read it? Girls, how would you read the Hierophants, just if you were just reading the Hierophant on its own in the house of Sag in regard to international travel and philosophies and things like that?
Well, basically the Hierophant is someone that plays by the rules. It's like an institution. It could be a teacher, it could be an old soul, it could be a pope. It could be it's someone that plays by the rules. So as far as philosophy, belief, it's almost kind of like conforming almost. It's conforming to beliefs, conforming to legalities, conforming to philosophy. It just kind of trying to maybe get along with everybody else, not make any waves. So when it has to do with the philosophy and beliefs, that's a lot going on these days. These days a lot of people are jumping out saying, I believe in this, I believe in that, I'm Democrat, I'm Republican. Right? It's like, okay, let's just keep the waters calm so we can just move on, people. And that's kind of like conforming. That's almost like the Hierophant.
It's almost like she could be going to get some higher learning, because don't forget the Hierophant, the 9th house is your spiritual guides and teachers and stuff like that too. And the Hierophant can be a teacher. So
Good.
Teacher, pope,
looks good.
old soul. What do you think, Julie?
I think it's everything I'm hearing makes a lot of sense. I've been doing a lot of work on myself, and a lot of these areas, for me, it's all about growth. So it's good that that's popping up.
That's excellent.
I think it's also important to note here that the only two major arcana cards in your spread are Death and the Hierophant, which basically means that these are the things that are fixed. These are like your karmic kind of things that it will happen in your life. Everything else you are free to kind of change, but this is how, given the current energies and given where you are at the moment, this looks how it's likely to pan out, as it were. All right, should we have a look at the 4th house of Cancer when we've got the 3 of Pentacles there? So this is all about your home, your family, your core values, your inner self, people that are close to you, atmosphere at home. And that is aspected by the Ace of Wands there in the House of Capricorn. Now, the House of Capricorn is an important card. It's where will you be and how you will evolve in the next year. And wands are all about doings, you know, can be related to work. So the Ace of Wands, you know, that's a real good thumbs up kind of sign in regard to your career, because the House of Capricorn is all about your future career, how you will be, where you evolve. So whatever you're trying to manifest for yourself at the end of this year or within this year, it will come good. And I also see that it will probably be a contract with others with that 3 of Pentacles. Has anybody seen anything else in regard to those 2 cards?
Well, home and family definitely looks like there's a strong foundation there. In terms of the Ace of Wands, what I'm seeing for career, there might be some sort of new beginning, like a call to action in some sort of new direction or new area that you're probably or not looking at already, or maybe it's altogether new. Well,
Nice.
Yeah, basically the same thing. I tend to kind of look at that 4th house and kind of get the aspect of the Ace of Wands, which is that's the home value, the home family core values. It seems pretty stable. That's looks like it's pretty strong, passionately strong with that ace up there. So that's one thing that definitely kind of. And how does that sound, Julie? Does that sound familiar, or is it kind of like we're kind of babbling?
No, spot on. I'm not talking because I'm so fascinated with what you're saying. I'm sort of taking it all in, but it's all spot on. Like everything you've said, it's ticking everything, all the boxes, and it's spot on.
Oh, that's good to know that feedback. That's good to know that feedback. All right. And the 5th house is which is in Leo, which is the one now that looks like a little daunting card, but you know, the man laying down looks like what he's really actually meditating. And he has 3 swords at the top and there's a sword at the bottom. So it's almost like something could be hidden. It also could also be that he's just meditating. Now that's the house of the creativity, children, romance. It seems like a lot of stuff. I mean, fun, vacations, that type of thing. It almost seems like you could use a rest there, or you're going to be resting, or you're going to be taking it easy in that way. You know, the creativity, your children, romance, that time, kind of like putting that stuff on the back burner for the moment. And that's aspected with what's that aspected with the 2 of Wands? The 2 of Wands, the man standing on top of the mountain there, the 2 of Wands there. And he's looking out, he's contemplating going and taking a trip, doing new things, going in new directions, kind of, he's contemplating, but he's doing it from a safe perspective. So it's kind of like, I think I'm just gonna kind of relax with my children, or relax with my romance, or relax with my fun vacation. I'm just gonna kind of let it go, but at the same time, I'm thinking about doing something different than that. I mean, I don't even know what
Barbara, it's almost like maybe at that point she could have like a surprise trip or something pop up too.
Yeah.
You know,
that
some
sounds good.
travel or something she wasn't expecting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for that.
Yeah, that's great. And then we go around to the 6th house, which is The sixth house is that little card. It looks like two little people down there giving a flower to each other, really nice and sweet. That's a giving card. That's a collaboration card. It's gifting, and so that's a kindness card, and that's in the health department. That the sixth house is the health, the daily routines, your work, your pets. So it looks like you have a good thing going with your health, with your daily routines. You're pretty happy with that. Your work with your pets looks pretty good. Now it's aspected with the 10 of wands. You see that man at the top with those 10 wands? He's bending over. It looks like he's having a hard time. Now it that almost gives me that it's a little hard, but you're keeping it kind, you're keeping it real, you're keeping it even, you're keeping it at a good pace, even if it's work to do that. So that's what I'm getting.
And it's also
getting?
you to be a little bit kind with yourself. Take some time, don't overdo it. Take some rest. Be careful of those thoughts and words going around in the mind, and be kind to yourself, with your health and daily routines. Don't overwork all of that.
Yeah. So where are we now, Ally? We're at the seventh house, Ally?
Yeah,
house,
so
that's in Libra.
Yeah, so we touched upon that earlier because we were looking at the aspecting of that with the first house of Aries. But yeah, the seventh house of Libra, as we said before, was about your partnerships and significant other relationships. So yeah, I think we talked about that before. Just be careful about your own thoughts and words and how that can affect you. We did touch upon the Knight of Wands in Scorpio a little bit, but yeah, the Knight of Wands kind of jumps in, and Scorpio is all about intimacy, sexuality, intimate relationships. Can be a transformation, it can be a life and death situations, it can be about inheritances and money coming your way, and also spiritual lessons and karmic lessons. So something in this area, you'll probably leap in, and there will be a big change because it's aspected by that death card. So there will be a change happening in this area, and you're probably likely to leap in. I think we said that before. It could be a bit of a quick kind of change. Does anyone else want to add anything on that Scorpio house?
Just if she's been doing a lot of work with herself, it could even be the spiritual lessons and her karmic lessons that she's working on right now too. So,
yeah. Okay. All right. And I think we went through the Hierophant there. That was aspected with the Queen of Pentacles. I think we did that one, and the Ace of Wands we talked about regarding work and things like that. Does anybody have anything more to say about the 10 of Wands there? Because that's in a house of Pisces, and that's often like your spiritual message from your higher self. And this can often be your undoing. So I kind of view that as, you've got to look after your health, and make sure that your daily routines are down pat, and that you don't, because if you fall back on that, then that can be a little bit of your undoing.
Absolutely.
Does that make any sense for you? I mean, has that happened for you in the past, where you've taken your foot off the gas, and then you felt like you were right at the end of your tether?
Absolutely. I think, and that's for me why having that routine is important, because I know that when I don't have that routine, something's not right.
And then in the middle card, and I think actually just going back to the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom there, aspected by the Three of Pentacles, I feel that the Queen of Pentacles, we're saying we're manifesting kind of, you being very sovereign and creating money for yourself. But I think that's created with other people here with this three of Pentacles, and I think it's on very good grounding as well. And I think as well, because it's next to the Death card, you know, it could well be in a completely different area, right, with that real big change area. And then yeah, go on, Lynn, go on.
I just want to add that with the Eight of Wands in the middle, don't be surprised if some of this stuff comes up fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, it could very well come up, you know, like you weren't necessarily, like with the Four, you weren't necessarily seeing it, or there could be something come up fast, you know, like with your contracts and whatnot, with the Three of Swords, that just doesn't work, you know. Oh, that could have just, so be prepared. Some stuff might just come out of, might almost seem like they're coming out of nowhere for you too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Do you have questions on any of these aspects that have come up? And we've probably got time to pull upon one other aspect that might jump out you want us to dig into a little bit more.
I think I'm very keen on that Heart and the Swords. Like, if we can sort of talk more about that.
Okay. What specific question would you have on that? Kaila, would you like to pull on this?
Sure.
Well, what I would like to maybe say something that like the swords, like we said, the swords are thoughts and words. Yeah. And maybe things have been said, or maybe may be said, that may be hurting in your partnerships. It could be in your significant other. It could be in your working relationship. You know, some people can be cruel, even if they do care about you, or even if they work with you. So you might just want to keep an eye out for that, because it might be stuff that they could just throw out there that they didn't mean, especially aspected with that person in that bed, you know, right across from it. It's like, well, you know, that's stuff that doesn't really mean much. It's word for nothing. But in the meantime, they threw it out there. So you might want to keep an eye open for that.
Absolutely. I've been taking notes. So I've got starred here. Be careful with your thoughts and words.
Yeah. And also thoughts and words of others as well. Your partnerships and your significant other. And then you can always go back and watch this part of the video.
Of course.
So we're always here for you. We're always here for you.
Thank you.
And I wouldn't worry so much with people's, you know, people say weird shit at different times, right? And you don't know what the hell is going through their mind, and often they just don't mean it. They're just going through a crappy time at that particular moment, but it's often not personal, is it?
Absolutely.
Kaila, you look like you've pulled already, right? Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to send it across.
Kaila's on it.
Whatever it is, it's for the best. There's a surprising positive outcome to whatever feels hurtful, or, you know, like, you know, this is not exactly what you wanted. It's all for the best.
Love that.
That's what I'm seeing here already.
Well, that's awesome.
So you come up as the Two of Wands. So you are looking into new territory, whatever that is. And just below is the Hanged Man. And I feel this has to do with not just a new physical beginning, but it has to do with some sort of enlightenment in looking at things in a different way. And this could be spiritual enlightenment, or it could be with regard to yourself and who you are. And that situation, that Three of Swords, the clarifying card, is the King of Swords. So it has to do, as they were saying, with words, thoughts and words being put across that may be shady, or information coming across to you that may not look very pleasing. In the past, you have the Knight of Cups, some sort of offer from, maybe you have put forward yourself in a loving manner, or, you know, you put your heart out there. And in the middle, it has to do with the King of Pentacles. So in the environment, it has to do with abundance, probably creating, quite possibly, career. And the outcome is the Page of Cups. Now, the Page of Cups is a surprising outcome. So it's telling you whatever information comes across to you in the next year, and would have to do with partnerships, significant other relationships, contracts, clientele, even public one-on-one clients. It's actually for a better or longer term good. There's a surprising outcome there, and you just need to, give it some time and look at it in a different way. Use that intuition. You are at a crossroad. Something is changing, but it's for the positive. That's what I'm seeing here. It's not giving me specifics as to what exactly it is, but that seventh house has to do with partnerships, significant others, relationships, contracts, clients, and so on. So that's where the Three of Swords was located. Anybody
Could
else?
could it also be, so you delved a little deeper with the Three of Swords, right?
Yeah, I was drawn to that card when it popped up. I don't know why.
Could there also be, because she has two cards at the top that are aspected, there's that Two of Swords, the person that has their arms crossed like this. And that kind of like, it's almost like I'm sitting, it's like a truce. I'm not really saying anything. Those are swords. I'm not really saying anything. I'm gonna sit it out. And the Emperor, I'm getting a father figure, a man with power. Maybe there's someone that you are kind of holding off on speaking to them or waiting for them to decide something. Maybe with that I'm getting a father figure or a man with power, a leader. I don't know. Is there anyone that maybe you've been speaking to? I mean, you don't have to say it.
Yeah, no,
It's
I'm just thinking. I have been speaking to people, so it could be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, within the next year anyway, there might be that father figure, or that person with a leader, let's say, a person with an important position. That
It might even be like
swords
because she's an attorney, Barbara. It could be like business partners in attorney firms or something like that, where that's why you might be picking up on like father figure. It could be someone that's like a head of a company or something, and they approach her maybe even.
Yeah, some leader, maybe a leader or something. Yeah. Okay.
And also with that Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck, I think, because we had that in the zodiac spread as well, is just be kind to yourself throughout all this. Just be kind to yourself. This is a bit like the how you would treat a child. Treat yourself how you would treat a child. Always be kind to yourself. Always buy yourself flowers. as the card
As a song.
looked there.
Even
and
even
as the song says, yeah.
I can buy us a flower. Hold my hand in a ray. Just think of that song.
And I think that, because we were looking at the Three of Swords in the relationship kind of position, I think that's a good kind of message there as well. You can buy yourself flowers, so don't worry about kind of other stuff like that.
Absolutely.
You can absolutely be your own best friend. You don't always need
your own BFF.
Yeah, exactly.
Next three cards, and there's the Three of Swords again. So there's a love, the Six of Swords, and the Three of Swords. So these two might help.
Amazing.
Conversation that helps to make things better, going off in a better direction. Anything else you get from these two ladies?
No, you said it.
I think there could be a new person on the horizon.
All right.
Something that gets you out of yourself is what I'm feeling a little bit. I don't know. You'll have to feed back on that one, Jules.
That's hilarious.
You gotta come back and maybe do another show and let us know how all this is working out for you.
Why not? Let's check in maybe 6 months or so.
Yeah,
but
that'd be really interesting.
I must admit, I'm so grateful for your time, ladies. Everything you said today made absolute sense.
Amazing.
Nice.
Without going into details, but it was like, it made sense to me.
Awesome.
I'm so grateful.
I hope it's been really useful for you. I'm sure there's lots for you to mull over. But yeah, absolutely. We can do it again.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming, because it takes a lot for a person to come online like this, and also to be open to letting other people talk about your personal life And the third thing is that to be an open to something like tarot cards, like a divinity type of thing. There's not many people. A lot of people shy away from it because they're afraid they don't know, or their religion tells them it's this or that. I shouldn't mess it. So we have to give props to you, Julie, for coming on for those things. You know.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best. Like, I've been watching, Ally's been sharing, and I really love what you're doing. And you will go from strength to strength. Just keep doing what you're doing and keep getting the message out. You're helping so many people.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, my love.
I'll see you later.
Thank you, my love. See you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Lovely. Super, super. I always love it when we have we pull cards for people, and it just really helps them. You can just see, like, oh wow, you know, things just kind of slot in. I mean, that isn't any surprise to us, right? Because we do this stuff all the time, but I think it's really lovely to see that, oh wow, look on someone's face, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, so back to earth, as it were, or not, we're going to pull on the airline industry. If anyone hasn't been watching, there's been all sorts of weird things happening recently with Boeing. A lot of stuff regarding Boeing planes. We've had the Boeing CEO, isn't he being pushed out or something? We've also got
He resigned.
things seem to be, oh yeah, okay. Things seem to be falling off airplanes left, right, and center. Planes seem to be having like near misses at airports, which they probably just wouldn't ever have. Yes, we have this one here. It's an engine fire. There's been lots of bad turbulence where people have been injured. Yeah, this was at Heathrow the other day. You know, this also happened at a Japanese airport the other week as well. Yeah, no idea what a cowling is on an airplane, but I presume these sorts of things aren't supposed to fall off.
Is that a wing or something? Is that a wing or part of? I can't really tell. What is that? Is that a wing?
It says plane returns to Denver after the cowling falls off. I don't know what cowling is. Might have to Google that shit. But yeah, there's been there's been lots of things happening in the airline industry. I mean, what should our first pull be on this? Should it be, is it safe to fly, or should we just do a big overview on what's actually going on with the airline industry?
Well, they seem to be really emphasizing Boeing airplanes at this moment. So maybe we should dreams safe right now. Do we want to do Boeing? I mean, we know there's a lot of problems going on with the airline industry. So
I mean, I think, you know, the airline industry has had problems, you know, from COVID, right? They had to get rid of a number of different crew because they wouldn't take the blah, 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 blah. So and that's probably the ground crew as well. So so the experience of the staff that are working in the industry is probably not as good as what it used to be. That probably would have an effect. But yeah,
there's lots of quality control problems in the background. Like I was reading something, and it seems the employees have been talking about it and bringing it to the attention of management, and nothing is being done. So something is deeply wrong in the whole system.
You know, I have this feeling. I've got this feeling that they actually want to get rid of the industry, and I wonder if there's something else in the background, because we've been using airplanes for the last 100 years, you know, and the tech hasn't really changed very much, has it? But I don't know. That's just a feling that I get. All right, so so first
I'm wondering if so how are you going to formulate the question? Is it like you want to know if it's the people that aren't really doing their jobs correctly, or if it's that the people that are really in charge don't care, or if it's safe, or what do we want to do?
We want to do just a general overview on what's going on with Boeing, like just what's going on with Boeing.
Yeah, because wasn't there a whistleblower or something with Boeing too? I think because they weren't
Turned out
doing their quality control properly or something, I think.
Yeah.
So should we pull on the airline industry generally or Boeing? I mean, is it same? I mean, it's half of the industry, isn't it?
I would say Boeing. Most of the
Boeing.
airplanes are Boeing airplanes.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
What do you think?
Go ahead and Ally, you go ahead and pull on that. I'm going to Google and
Right.
see if I can find out if there's any other builder of aircraft other than Boeing.
I believe it's Airbus and Boeing.
Airbus.
Oh yeah, Airbus.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's it, I think. I mean,
That's it?
there are like, well, you know, you've got the small planes like the private jets and then things like that, but the big.
Yeah, but
the
we're not
big,
hearing
big
issues
guys,
with them. It's all the big ones.
Nice.
And I mean, good God, how many of these planes are riding into each other because the landing crews can't, maneuver them around right?
They can't get it together. It's almost like they can't get it together, or somebody's going home early.
Yeah, it seems specifically with Boeing planes.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody's going home early, or somebody should be fired. That's what I feel. So either they're going home early, or they're not doing their job, or they're reporting the issues and someone's not doing something about it. There's somebody should really be responsible for this.
And as far as I understand, there were more than one people that resigned. It was not just a CEO. It was a few of them at the same time.
Wow, that's really something.
I thought it was interesting that Boeing shares are tied to BlackRock and Vanguard. I believe I saw that recently. Yeah, I mean, I think most of the big companies in the world are now, but that was interesting to me.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm seeing they're talking about 5 reasons why Airbus went from struggling outsider to beating Boeing. So it's almost as if the cabal is throwing one under the bus, kind of like what we're expecting to happen with the banks too. Interesting.
In the meantime, I mean, you're traveling and then you see something like that, or you're on this plane and then they have to bring it down. I remember one time I was on a plane going from here to Italy, and we had to do an emergency stopover in Canada, and that was like terrorizing for everybody. So I can imagine these days with something like this happening. But these are interesting cards.
They're very interesting cards, aren't they?
Very interesting.
How
did you phrase your question? How did you phrase your question, Ally?
What's going on with Boeing? What's happening? And it looks like with that 7 of Swords, there's a strategy, isn't there? So, and a surprise with so there's a strategy. There will be a surprise. I think it's all going to crumble. It looks like it's going to crumble with the Tower card, and people are just going to have to surrender to the fact that we probably aren't going to have plane travel for a bit. But there's a reasoning behind it, isn't there? There's definitely something's already been sorted out with that 2 of Cups. But if you look at the aspecting cards, you've got the Moon, you've got Death, you've got the 8 of Pentacles. It looks like, you know what I was saying about it's dying a death. That's what it looks like to me. Does anyone see any different?
Well, with that Tower card in the position that it's in, it's what they want it to look like. They want it to appear that there's going to be some traumatic issues going on with it. That's what they want it to look like. Whereas in the meantime, you have that 7 of Swords, which is some type of strategy going on, and some type of surprising element about it, because are they really supposed to be using this to get something done? But the white hats a lot of times, and I'm thinking that it is white hats, because it looks like there's with that 2 of Cups at the bottom, there's some type of, somebody has capitulated, somebody has, maybe people that were in the industry that weren't supposed to be doing the industry or ruling the industry. Maybe because they're putting extra money in their pocket or something. I don't know. Have that Ace of Pentacles at the bottom, but maybe they're finally out of there, and this is the way of showing that these people, what was really going on behind the scenes. But I think with that tower, it looks like what they want it to look like. That it's traumatic. It's all the stuff that's happened with it, but it's that strategy with that Seven of Swords. And with that Eight of Pentacles up there with that Death and Moon, that does look like that something is definitely changing.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lynn?
I agree with you. Yeah, it's definitely strategic in what they're doing, and they're bringing it out. Like you said, they want to, and maybe it is just to, you know what just occurred to me? A lot of the pilots were forced to do this.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're trying to do this in order to prevent maybe more accidents, perhaps. I don't know. That just popped in my head while we were talking about it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Is it worthwhile doing a different pull on this? Like, if like it's dying a death, what's next? What else? How else will we travel around?
With the Ace of Pentacles, it looks like there is some sort of new beginning coming after this.
Definitely, right?
So
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
is it?
absolutely.
Yeah, there's definitely a little mystery there with that Moon card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, something hidden
with travel, and I think Boeing probably was quite corrupted anyway. It looks like a corrupt player.
There's a slow change working. They're working on a slow change, but it's with that moon. I don't see it as the airlines going down. I see it as there's a slow change. They're working on a slow change, and it's hidden right now. But they're doing something to make a big change, and it's almost like, again, that the ends justify the means.
And there's an ending there with that Ten of Swords. Is this specifically for travel, or is this specifically for Boeing? There's some sort of transformation happening here.
Well, should we ask what's next? What's next for the travel industry? Because, you know, air travel has just been so normal for us in our lifetime. So is something else coming that's going to be more normal? Should we pull on that?
Okay.
Who wants to pull on that one?
You want to pull on it, Lynn? Let's get those really nice cards out there. Let me see those cards you got.
All right. So what do you want to ask, Ally?
Those cards that sometimes confuse me, but I'm learning.
What's next? What's next for the travel industry if there's all sorts of weird changes going down in the airline industry? What's next?
I'm going to mute myself because I have a dog whining.
Yeah, I mean, there's also been talk about flying cars, you know, flying cars for quite a while, right? I saw an article the other day about this flying car contract in China. I mean, that'd be quite cool if we can just fly ourselves around, because if there are flying cars and every family can fly themselves around, they're not going to need big commercial airlines, are they?
Yeah, but I see that as a mess, a hot mess. Because you have all these families that can fly around and their kids, and that would be a hot mess. I just imagine that.
I mean, that's a load of different changes, aren't there, if that happens? But you know, they have been talking about this for a long time, though, haven't they?
I don't know about that. Maybe that's something else we can pull on, because I just don't see that happening with all these people with cars that are on the road. You're going to be up in the air now. That would be a hot mess. It'd be crazy. But I think there might be other ways of travel, though, like interdimensional traveling through the ether, bending time and space. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. That would be incredible.
And there's well, you know, there's supposed to be these underground tunnels with trains where you can get from here to like London in like seconds. Like
those are fast.
So
those are really fast.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it? If I can pop to see you guys for tea and be back for dinner.
Oh, that would be absolutely awesome to go have some tea with Ally.
Delightful.
Absolute delight. But that would be nice. That would be. I mean, just imagine.
Yeah.
And you know, it's some community, and they say in the truth community, some of them say that some of the politicians and those people that, you know, what we used to call the elite, they were already using those systems.
Yeah. All right. Oh. So what question specifically did you ask, Lynn? You're muted.
Yeah, no, I just asked him as you were talking what was next for the industry. So it was kind of feeding off of you as you were talking. So isn't the 3 of Wands typical? No, is it 3 of Wands or 4 of Wands? That's typically a portal. I would tend to say, look at the ship back there and they're looking out. So there is something different probably coming. For sure. And like you guys were saying, the tunnels, but look at the aspecting cards, the Fool, the Judgment, and the Hierophant.
And you've got the Ace of Wands, which is a big fat yes. There is something else coming. But perhaps with that 5 of Swords, they're just arguing amongst themselves which should be coming. I don't know.
Well, there may be several. There may be several, and maybe they're trying to decide to determine between them too. Yeah,
especially with that 2 of Wands there.
Right.
How would you read the Magician there? Because you know the Magician card can be read in a number of different ways. How would you read the Magician in this spread?
In this specific spread, in this specific deck of cards, for some reason, this 2 of Wands looks like portal energy to me, and with the Magician, you know, there's some sort of way easier way to travel that we have not been made aware of as yet. You know, so something better is coming.
Yeah,
it could be those systems that certain people say that they've been using for a while now. You know, certain royals or politicians and those people.
I think with that Fool card, you know, it probably will all have to step off the edge of a cliff a little bit because it's going to be unknown territory, isn't it?
And I think it goes back to the last poll where we were talking about we just may be without not being able to travel for a little while until everything's up and running too.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting with that 5 of Swords too. I think travel right now, temporary attacks happening.
It kind of reminds me of oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say with the Fool, it looks like some new beginning coming, something totally new. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. So maybe these other systems coming in. It kind of reminds me of a lot of Italians know an Italian priest back in the day. His name was Padre Pio, and they used to say Padre Pio would be seen in 2 different places at one time. He was a priest back in 1887. I'm looking him up now, 1887, and they would swear that they would see him. They would claim to see him in 2 different places at the same time. So back in 1887, who knows if they had these systems already where you can travel really quickly and be in, you know, that they say 2 places at one time, but they probably saw him it was probably impossible to get from the north of Italy to the south of Italy in a day back in the day. So
but they might have had clones back then.
That could be too. That and also those travel systems that we don't that supposedly we're gonna find out about soon, hopefully.
All right. Okay. All right, so we're about an hour and 10, 15 in. Should we have a look at Lynn's 2-week poll? How to negotiate the next couple of weeks, because we've got what is it? It's a Uranus Jupiter conjunction on the 20th, and then we've got that full moon on the 23rd. So yeah, so we'll have both of these over the next 2 weeks. So shall we have a look at what lovely Lynn did? So every time we have a show, Lynn pulls with tarot and oracle cards about what message the universe wants to give us for the next couple of weeks, to see how we can negotiate these crazy times that we're in.
And these cards are for us and the people that are watching, right? On humanity in general, right?
Exactly, for everybody that's watching here.
I think I asked that already.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see again.
Who wants to talk about these? Anybody feel guided to talk about these lovely cards? If not,
let's not all jump at one time.
Real quick. In between Libby's barking, but basically an overview for the next 2 weeks is a lot of transformation. Stay true to yourself, stay in your truth. We're going to, I think the Three of Swords here is representing us possibly losing, not necessarily physically losing people, but losing friends, but we're going to stay and we're going to take charge, stay in our truth. There's new beginnings. I think with the Queen of Pentacles, I think we're close to the financial system. It's not quite there. It's not the king. It's not the end, but I think maybe we might be moving over the next 2 weeks closer to where we need to be with it as well. Take this time to go within and get rid of things that are no longer serving you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that too.
I've also got that, we need to be brave and speak our truth. Don't avoid it, but don't cause problems kind of either. But yeah, the earth has our back. So if you're ever in doubt, just go out in nature.
Yeah. And stay grounded. That keeps coming back, going out in nature. I think we had that a couple weeks ago. And the Queen of Pentacles manifestation, she's someone that knows her power. She executes it. She waits patiently. That's how I see where people are doing right now. They're waking up and realizing their power. The star card, I get that we are healing. All of us are healing, whether we're sick or not, mentally, physically. Well, and we're vulnerable with that star card. With there's a certain vulnerability that comes out with that star card as well. But we're full of hope and on the mend. So it's positive. It's Three of Swords, that heartache, pain, the suffering that's going on right next to the moon. It's kind of like, we're gonna lose some friends or lose some people, whether we're not talking to each other, or we maybe lose them physically to the next dimension or the next back to the universe. But however, nevertheless, we are contemplating and moving forward with the Two of Wands. Is that the Two of Wands? Yeah. Two of Wands at a safe perspective, of course. When I was looking at this divine sensuality and the sacred sexuality that came up, is that from the same deck? That's from the same deck? So did that just come up, or did you just take the deck and put
No, it's a new deck, and it is the medicine women, and there's actually 4 aspects to it. So I divided them all up into their different aspects and pulled from each one. Yes.
Nice.
The one in the middle, the earth, that's from an ancestor's deck. But the other 4 are all from the medicine women.
Nice, because that divine sensuality one reminds me of the high priestess. It's being in touch with your intuition and taking care of yourself. and your loved ones. And the sacred sexuality, like in the divine sexuality, yeah, just reconnecting to it, because with all of this that's happening in the world, I think a lot of us, I mean, we are here to procreate. We are here to procreate and enjoy it as well. So it's kind of like we're forgetting about our sensuality and our sexuality. That's the way the Creator made us, to enjoy that. And I think with everything going on, we tend to forget that. That sisterhood one, I really love that sisterhood one. That's us. Whether you're a brother or sister, whether you're a brother or sister, you're in a sisterhood. But that what is that saying today? Initiate a new sisters adventure. Yeah, we were ahead of time because we did that. We started that last year. So yeah.
I really think the right people will come to you as well. You know, I think it's a good time to forge new friendships, and we'll probably find the new members of our tribe, as it were. And just to drop any rivalries that you have, you know, support fellow women specifically, but support your fellow man as well. You know, let's just stop doing, you know, black against white and, you know, Asian against Caucasian and all this kind of crap. You know, let's just take this time as we go into the new kind of era. You know, we're really all pulling together. That's what I get with that sisterhood one.
Yeah,
Kaila?
a lot of divine feminine energy coming across with these cards. So I agree with everything you all said. So I'm going to try not to repeat. But that was one part, the divine feminine coming across, and I think it's very you know, indicative of us birthing that new world. So it's calling for us to come back into our true selves with the divine sexuality and sacred, divine sensuality and sacred sexuality, also going deeper and finding those deeper parts of ourselves. Yeah, so I think with that autumn card, it sort of gives a feeling that by autumn, the load might be lightened a little bit. So it's going to get a little bit intense. And by autumn, maybe we start to see the light a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Agree.
Nice, nicely said.
All right. So it's that time of the day again where we get to hear Bob. Bob, what are you going to sing for us today?
Oh my gosh, what am I going to sing? Let's sing Julie's song. You know, that Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus. I can buy myself flowers. It's a sisterhood, right?
Yeah.
Write my name in the sand. Talk to myself for hours. Say things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing. I can hold my own hand. Yes, I can love you better than anybody can. So just take your power. And even if you have that man or that woman or the two men or two women or whatever, just be good with yourself. Don't have to, you know, let somebody else validate you. You do your own thing, and then you're better off. That's my opinion, man. Buy yourself flowers. What do you all think? You gonna buy yourself some flowers tomorrow?
I always buy myself
Today?
flowers. I always buy myself flowers.
I always go grocery shopping and come back with flowers. So
yeah, it's important.
Nice. I like it. That's a statement right there. That's the sisterhood. Doggone it. That's the sisterhood. You see, even the dog said yeah. Was that Libby?
The dog is agreeing.
That's Libby, agreeing. Yes.
Libby said, yeah, that's right. What timing? Wow.
I think someone's laying in her bed or preventing the fan from blowing on her right now. So.
Like, where is
Mom? Okay, so
it's horrible to be 14 years old, you know?
You see, she agreed. Tell her to go ahead and buy herself some flowers then. Oh, ladies, that was a nice
All right,
you.
guys. If you like what you've seen here, please like, share, subscribe. Please comment. Please scribble to us below. And we'll see you soon. Enjoy the next couple of weeks. Hold on to your panties, like I said before, because expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon. See you later. Bye.